So mining is one of my preferred ways of earning money in Star Citizen right now. That's mostly because it's a little bit more interactive than just running cargo everywhere. Also, the game right now is not stable enough to actually, it's not stable enough to run cargo with any certainty that you are in fact going to make it to your destination. A crash can lose you all of your money if you end up throwing all of your money into a big load in like a caterpillar or something like that. So we'll explore that in another Money Monday, but today we're going to be exploring what it actually takes to earn money mining. So we're gonna go in here. First things first, if you're going mining, you can equip yourself for mining. So we'll go in here and I already have utilities. I got a bunch of stuff here. If you're going to go mining, you probably want the multi-tool with the orbit mining attachment. There have been some issues in this patch with mining with multi-tool. Pretty much every equipped gun or utility item has had issues working in this patch. So I'm not really into this until they fix some of these issues, because I have enough troubles with my key mining as it is, because I play mouse on the left hand. So I have to rebind everything, and then it messes with this game, which is an alpha, and it's not really designed to play well with a bunch of rebinding of keys. So I don't really do this, but if you are going to go out and hand mine and take the risk, you do want to go get this MacFlex rucksack core. It looks real goofy, but it increases your carrying ability by a huge amount, like 5 times or something like that. You are going to want to equip that. So we'll just equip this for sake, and this will allow you to carry a lot more ore. So if you go out and hand mine, you can actually carry a bunch more ore with you. You aren't filling up and walking around a bunch. So what we're going to use today is the MISC Prospector. Somewhere in here. There it is. This is the one-person mining ship. And this is mostly stock, except for one thing. I have upgraded the mining laser to the Helix 1 mining laser. This thing is... why is there 2 in use? That's really weird. I don't have 2 MISC Pro. Anyway, I have upgraded to this one. The standard is, I think... one of these two is the standard mining laser that comes on the MISC Prospector. It's good enough for asteroid mining, so if you want to go asteroid mining, you can use this just fine. But if you're going to mine a lot of the really valuable rocks, those are the rocks that are on moons and such like that. You can find some of them in asteroids, but I've found that their frequency is much less in asteroid belts than in moons. But rocks that have the really valuable minerals, that's all the ones that have weird names. So bexelite, terranite, borase, laranite, agricium, and hephaestonite are really the most valuable minerals. But those ones are all very tough rocks to break on a moon with your standard laser. In fact, even this upgraded one, which is what I used for a long time, the Klein S1 mining laser, even that one has a rough time, and you can spend a lot of time on your rock trying to crack it on some of those higher value rocks. So unfortunately, the Helix mining laser is like 100,000 alpha UEC right now. So it's quite a chunk of change, but it really makes mining a whole lot easier. So we're gonna go out and do that and give it a little test to see how how much we can make and what our sort of alpha UEC per hour is right now using using this prospector. See how if it's actually worth a lot of the time. So we're gonna go in here and I am currently at Grimhex. This is my current favorite mining area because Grimhex is relatively close to Yella. Yella is a moon in the Crusader system, if you're curious. And I've found pretty good rocks in here, and it's a very short transit, so it's not quite as good as I think some of the Hurston moons. One of the Hurston moons, or a couple of the Hurston moons, have some very sites on the moon that you can sell at to sell minerals, so your transit time that'll kill your actual efficiency rate is much lower. But I mean, that's but like myself and a couple of the people that I play with on a semi-regular basis like the Grimhex area just a little bit better personally. It also fits our aesthetic of broken and run down and kind of janky. So before you lift off, don't forget to actually ask permission for liftoff. This is not the pirate stream where we don't care about fines or anything like that. And then get your stuff out of the way here. We'll get the HOTAS set up. Power up. Let everything warm up here for a sec. I've had some issues in this game already where I've yep, there's shields charging. Where if you try and lift off too early, it actually doesn't want you to lift off, and that's I think due to the way the power comes on. So now that we're here, you can lift off just fine. Bring up the landing gear, and so we're at Grimhex, and the moon we're mining on is literally right there. So uh-oh. Let's see if this works. Having some weird oh, there we go. There's the shooting. Guns weren't working for a second. The nice thing about this run versus like the Delamar what is it, that Delamar run, is that this used basically no quantum fuel. So you can do this as long as your hydrogen fuel, your regular maneuvering fuel, holds out. So when you're mining like this, pro tip, you do want to mine in the day if you can, if at all possible. Yes, you can mine in the darkness, but it's less than ideal. You have to turn on your lights. You can't see everything around you. So my suggestion is pick the side of the moon that you're mining on that's actually in the daylight. If you're mining in an asteroid field, that's not a problem for you. And then I just pick a daylight site here and go down here and start my mining. Maybe try not to crash into the ground again. I was testing this out a little bit yesterday or the day before just to make sure everything was stable again, and I crashed just like trying to kamikaze down into the ground just to make everything work. So we're gonna, first thing you do is you open up your scanning, your sensor suite here, and send out a pulse. There's a box, a couple boxes. Ooh, we managed to drop right onto some sort of ship mineable. So actually this is a good time to talk about different minables. And so the big boxes are rocks and minerals that are mineable by ship. The really small box that's right over here somewhere. We'll run this again. That one is a hand mineable section. So I don't really think it's worth your time to hand mine in 3.8 right now, just because of the way the mining tools and kind of all the glitches involved with hand tools work. It's just really not worth the time or the effort to go ahead and do this. So we're gonna go do some ship mining, go find these rocks wherever they're sitting. Somewhere down here, I believe. Yes, there we go. So if you're flying over rocks and you see, let's go make sure there's none over here. If you're flying over rocks in your scanning configuration here, you actually will see the rocks will throw up a little icon. These three rocks. They'll throw up a little icon like that, and that tells you they're actually mineable as opposed to just part of the terrain. So then you're going to want to get into your mining. I've seen people scan in the scanning mode, but it never really works for me. I'm not sure why. So I have to go into mining mode and scan the rocks to figure out what their components are. So when you're scanning here, you're looking for basically of the high value minerals, you're looking for almost any amount. The old mining amounts in 3.7, the 3.7 series, they would basically, the rocks when you break them up during mining, which I'll show you here, would essentially break up at random amounts of minerals. In 3.8, they seem to concentrate a little bit better, so that like even 2.4% agricium, which is one of our more premium minerals, actually breaks up into like a usable amount. So we might get a rock or two that's mineable at 16 to 20%. There'll be like only a mass of like 80 or 90, but we'll get something that's mineable at a percentage we want to mine at. So the mining loop is pretty straightforward, but it's at least, I think, more interactive than the trading loop. So you go find yourself a rock that's worth mining. We're gonna be a little bit picky here for the first 75% or so of our cargo space, and only pick some of the premium loots here. So you find a rock that's worth mining, go into mining, and actually start breaking it. So the idea here is you keep the energy level within this green band, but below the red band. If you go into the red band, the rock will actually explode, and then that can actually blow up your ship. I've had that happen a couple times. I was actually team mining with a buddy because we were trying to test out all of our mining ships, and we were trying to. This was just after 3.8 hit, and we were trying to hit these big rocks that have the nice ores in them. Ooh, see, there's a good rock already. We'll check the other rocks, make sure we're not going to waste any time. But we were testing out mining in the new 3.8 patch, and we figured out that we could barely break some of these very valuable rocks on our own. So we tried to mine together, and what happened was we ended up throwing too much. I had like a 90% full cargo bay of all the premium ores. We threw too much energy at it, and I blew up, and I lost like I don't know, it was probably an 80,000 alpha UEC load. So it looks like, oh, I'm not seeing any other rocks here. So if there's rocks to be scanned, they'll have a white outline. So right now, rocks that you can scan but that are already scanned have a gray outline. So it looks like we got lucky and all the agricium came out in one rock. So we can mine this and move on. Hey, Texas. I've actually been really lucky with Star Citizen, believe it or not. I've only had a couple crashes. Unfortunately, those have usually been crashes when I've had a, you know, 300,000 or 400,000 ISK, that's Eve talk, UEC load in a Caterpillar. So that's kind of put me off trading as earning money this morning. Just in general. Ooh. There we go. Ooh. We're getting a good start today. Get closer here. These ones, even for this really expensive one, these are sometimes hard to break and you have to get a little bit close. I would have hoped that they'd be a little bit smoother, at least, ooh, I like you. Yes! Give me that money. No, don't run away. Ugh. Mining on hills is the worst. Okay. So Agricium and all these high value minerals are really worth getting at basically anything that isn't trace amounts of. So like anything above about 2% in a mineable rock is worth getting out of these ones. The other ones you really do need to get more minerals in your rocks before you go looking for them. That's stuff like if you go in titanium, diamond, gold, and copper, you really do need like 15 to 20% in your rocks before it's worth actually mining. This one anything good? No, it's just all aluminum. Alright. This is the hard part about mining. When you're mining, at some point the opportunity cost, so for your time opportunity cost, your time value is worth more to get a load in and into the bank versus going and searching around for the premium ores. So titanium and gold are, of the non-premium ores, are some of the better ones. And we're currently at 67% of our cargo capacity. At least that's what we think we are right now. That may or may not actually be true. I usually start just getting any sort of high value medium tier ore at about 75%, because at that point the difference in cost between the bexelites and the terranites and your titanium and golds is actually not so big on your overall package, because you're using less volume, so your actual what you're giving up is not nearly as much in that case. But we're still below that sort of 75% threshold, so we're gonna go continue searching for the nice rocks. The thing about finding maybe another nice rock or so is that if we do find one more, we'll get much more full. Ooh, this has potential. This is 3 rocks. Really glad we started searching, but if you find one more, you're probably gonna end up, if you get like a decent amount of a premium ore, you're probably gonna end up at close to 100% anyway, and then you just pick up whatever ore is worth anything that's left in one of these rocks. So let's see, there's some agricium in the first one, gold. So we'll see how much agricium we pull. I expect that if we once we pull agricium out of this one here, that we'll actually get some, we'll actually get close to our full level, and we'll just pull either some aluminum here, which is not awesome, or we'll turn around and break the other rock behind us, which is a lot easier to break. Alright, we get like a rock in here that's basically 100% aluminum. I would probably take it once we clean up this agricium and we start getting close to full, just to get the run in and get the money, but we'll see what happens. Always remember to drop your mining laser energy back down to 0 between mining lasers. 7% there. That one's probably worth getting. You do want to take a look at all the rocks available to you to make sure that you can get the maximum amount of the premium materials. Like this one. If I'd have pulled the 27% at 246 some odd, I may not have been able to pull all of this 311 at 100%. So that's why you do want to scan everything before you mine and extract. And there we go. Full storage. That was actually a pretty quick run for getting all premium ores, which is... It's not nearly as quick if you're trying to do it out in the asteroid belt. But, it's time to get out of here and get back to, sell all of our loot and see how we did. We're gonna get into the Armistice Zone here first before I slow down. I don't trust anyone here at this point. Portal Ulsar is really where people gank you, but the Armistice Zone here at Grimhex is very small, and if you're too close to the edge of it, you can actually get ganked by someone who wants to gank you. Alright, normal spot then. From outside the Armistice Zone if you get unlucky. Yeah, unfortunately missions are still bugged, a lot of them. Apparently a lot of people have good luck on courier missions. Courier missions don't really interest me. I'll probably do a Money Monday on courier missions, and we'll see how much we can earn. But I don't really... They don't call to me as a money earning thing, especially since I have a prospector. There's really no reason to run courier missions. And then fighting missions, combat missions, mercenary missions, all that stuff, it's a coin flip at best. Like, I've had maybe 20-30% of them work flawlessly. Sometimes I have to wait a few minutes for a new trigger. All sorts of weird stuff has happened on those. Missions are still rough. It's an alpha, so I give it a little bit of credit, and I am a little bit biased just based on, you know, really wanting this game to work, and so I maybe have some rose-colored glasses. Let's see. Not bad. So this was... What are we up? Up 45 minutes. That was about a 40-minute run, and we got about 60,000 UAC. We did a really good job of keeping Agricium. Thanks, man. My other doing stuff at home day job is actually YouTube videos. So I've been forced to work on communication skills. My normal skills are not that great. I'm actually an engineer by training, so they don't teach us how to communicate or have human emotions normally. So, nope, don't want any of these. This is where RNGesus kills us. Although that rock has a lot of just minerals. This is the thing. When you're mining in Star Citizen, the most important thing is to keep your inert materials down, because that kills all of your profit, and all of your, basically your entire haul. So quartz is not awesome. Like, it's only, what is it, 151-ish alpha UEC per unit. But that's still 300 times what inert materials is. So if you can get 100% rocks, you're still over your floor. You're not nearly destroying your cost average, your volume average cost. Oh boy, there's the hang up. So this is one of the problems with mining. This is the thing that can really get you. Mining, occasionally the server or your client or something will hang and catch. And what'll happen is it'll just show your laser throttle and the rock energy level will stay the same. If that happens while you're mining, you're much better off just cutting all of your laser power and your laser throttle and letting all the energy level drop than risking an explosion, because then you can lose your ship and have to wait 5-10 minutes or whatever it is for the ship to come back and respawn. And you can lose your entire cargo. So if this had happened, if I had blown up something at the end of my last run, I could have lost, you know, 60,000 UEC worth of cargo, which is no small amount of money. That's a couple rentals for like a ship like this. I think this thing rents for 30,000 UEC for every 3 days or something like that. And that's one of the cool things I like about the Prospectors. If you rent it for your 3 days, you can make the cost of buying it with in-game alpha UEC. Alright. Good stuff. Let's get out of here. But for kind of unbridled PvP, no rules sandbox, which is kind of what I hope this game will be, except it'll be more fun because you get to actually physically pilot your ship. EVE is kind of unparalleled in the MMO universe, so that's how me and my friends ended up in EVE, long term anyway. There we go. Now we're landed. See, there's what happens when you don't take your time. So we didn't pull any valuable resource off of that one. And look at our inert materials as 17% of our cargo hold, as opposed to last time we did it when we were a lot more picky. Our inert materials was maybe like 1% or 0.1% of our cargo hold. You'll notice that like our diamond is our biggest earner at 7 grand, but our total earnings here is only 15,000 alpha UEC. And that was on a run for, I mean, that was a 20-minute run versus like a 35-minute run. But we got 1/4 of the price for our income here. So I would say that mining strategy of just oh no, oh god, don't get stuck in the elevator. All right, that was a wasted run basically. Let's try the outpost. Nice. Yes, that's what we want right there. And we're not picking up barely any inert materials on this mine too, so that's nice. And break. Anytime now. There we go. Oh god, don't blow up, please. Oh. Break this one real quick, and that'll probably fill us up. And there we go. Alright. Get ourselves out of atmosphere here. Alright. Last load for the day. 16,000 alpha UEC. And you can see inert materials really kill us here. We pulled a lot of agricium, right? Relatively speaking, but we were pulling agricium at like 4 and 6 and 8% levels as opposed to 15 and 18% levels with a bunch of other materials in there. So we end up with a lot of inert materials. But you'll notice that just 16% agricium basically gets us the same amount as an entire cargo hold full of all of the other materials. So that's why it pays to fill up your cargo hold with the premium materials, agricium, laranite, and borace. Basically everything that doesn't sound like a real material. At least 50 to 75% before you just start looking to fill it up for your time usage amount. So we're gonna sell this to our refinery, confirm. And I think we're gonna call it here for today. I've got some meetings and webinars to get to. Chevy, nice to see you. Thanks for following. See you again soon, I hope. And everyone else, we'll catch y'all later.